night, DJ DJT rocked out to the most random assortment of hits.
So I can sit out here and waste my life away.
What the Jack? What a... Come on! What's going on? That's I tell you, you sons of bitches kicked me out of the race for being too old and crazy? That guy's doing the day room shuffle to November Rain. Heck, at least I can still cut a rug. Hit it.
We've got the video, we've got the tapes, thanks to the great work of the Democrats in the House Oversight Committee. Donald Trump is panicking as Democrats in the House Oversight Committee have got their hands on new photos inside Jeffrey Epstein's home on the despicable island, and they've got videos of it as well. I mean, these videos and photos are absolutely creepy as it kind of tore the area. It has like dental chairs, bizarre statues, and the outside area is just a sight to behold in these videos. Meanwhile, you have Democratic lawmakers.
3 words. That's all it took for Stephen Colbert to send Donald Trump into an absolute meltdown. 3 words that would make history. 3 words that proved exactly what Colbert had been saying all along about Trump's thin skin and desperate need for approval. But before we get to that moment, you need to understand the war that led up to it. Because this isn't just about a late-night host roasting a president. This is about what happens when someone refuses to bend the knee to an autocrat, and it's about how that refusal cost Colbert everything and gave him the last laugh anyway.
It was a great day. I tell you, I'm in a great mood. You guys feeling okay? I do too. It's a great day to be me because I am not Donald Trump. That guy has got a lot of problems.
December 19th. It's when the files are going to be released, right? Right? Tell us what you're going to do, because we don't want to have December 19th come around and then you raise all of these objections and you claim that, oh, it's not lawful to turn this over and that over. And by the way, Trump could have turned these over without the law being passed. Let's be very clear about that. And separately, there is a House oversight subpoena that's been out and pending for a very long time. I think you see the formation of the plan right now.
The $16 million bribe that started everything July 14th, 2025. Stephen Colbert walks onto the Late Show set knowing he's about to cross a line that could end his career. His own employer, CBS's parent company Paramount, just paid Donald Trump $16 million to settle a lawsuit over a 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris. Most people would have stayed quiet, played it safe. But Colbert isn't most people.
No, folks, I consider myself a deep spiritual thinker. I frequently ponder the age-old questions like, why do bad things happen to good people? And why do good things ever happen to Donald Trump? Yesterday, the Trump Media and Technology Group, or HPV, which owns Truth Social, completed a deal to go public. According to Bloomberg News, that deal increased Trump's net worth by more than $4 billion, making him one of the world's 500 richest people. He made over $4 billion misspelling things on the toilet. My God, I hope that article is misinformated.
Anything, given his past. Mr. Director, our viewers also are just, they're chomping at the bit on why it took the Epstein files so long to be released. Any regrets there? Was that an unforced error? Just should we have gotten them out earlier? Just get them all out there? Just thought I'd give you a chance to react to that.
Yeah, look, this FBI has produced 40,000 pages of documents to Congress. To put that in comparison, Wray put out 13,000 in 7 years, and Comey put out 3,000. We're committed to transparency. We're putting out as much as we can that is lawful and that is not prohibited by court orders. And those are the things the DOJ is fighting still.
I believe this kind of complicated financial settlement with a sitting government official has a technical name in legal circles, Colbert said, pausing for effect. It's big fat bribe. The audience erupted. But Colbert wasn't done. He explained that Paramount was desperately trying to get Trump administration approval for an $8.4 billion merger with Skydance Media. And apparently, buying off the president was part of the package deal.
Would you want to have Trump on your show again?
The quick answer would be no, because it would be hard for me to be properly respectful of the office, because I think that he is so disrespectful of the office that it's very hard to perceive him as I would want to perceive a president in terms of their status and the dignity and the representation of the United States. So I think just for safety's sake, it wouldn't be a good idea.
Of course, Donald Trump is leading a cover-up on the Epstein files, and Pam Bondi and the DOJ are taking orders directly from the president. That's our belief. It certainly appears that way, and they have been so committed to not releasing these files after campaigning on them, and now to have all this back and forth and the president fighting the legislation that was on the floor, not responding to our oversight subpoena. So it's pretty clear they don't want the documents released, no matter what Kash Patel or anybody else says. And so we expect them to continue to try to slow or stop our investigation.
Paramount released a statement where they said, "You may take our money, but you will never take our dignity," Colbert mocked. "You may, however, purchase our dignity for the low, low price of $16 million. We need the cash." It was brilliant, savage, and it would cost him everything. If you're watching this because you want the truth about what's really happening to free speech in America, not the sanitized corporate version, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button right now, because we're about to expose how far Trump will go to silence.
Let's take a look also how we've seen over this weekend some bipartisan pushback against the Trump regime policies and war crimes. So in the House Armed Services Committee, we got a bipartisan statement from Mike Rogers of Alabama and the Democrat ranking member Adam Smith. The two leaders, basically, but Republican and Democrat. They say this committee, the House Armed Services Committee, is committed to providing rigorous oversight of the Department of Defense's military operations in the Caribbean. We take seriously the reports of follow-on double-tap strikes on boats alleged to be ferrying narcotics in Southcom region and are taking bipartisan action to gather a full accounting of the operation in question. And that followed the bipartisan statement.
3 days later, the hammer dropped July 17th, 2025. Colbert gets the call that every employee dreads. CBS is canceling The Late Show. Not just his version, the entire franchise that had been running since David Letterman launched it in 1993. All of it gone. Final episode scheduled for May 2026. CBS claimed it was purely a financial decision against a challenging backdrop in late night.
Tide is just a little bit of sweet and sour, a little semi-sweet chocolate chip. It's the end of an era, because this is our last show of the Biden administration. Yeah, it's been a good run. Yeah. It's been a good run, Joe. Thank you for all your efforts. The next time. Next time you all see me, Donald Trump will be president, and you may not see me. Next 4 years, we're taking this one day at a time. Last night, still President Biden gave his farewell address to the nation. Now, in typical Biden style, he kicked things...
Be transparent, because we're going to get this one way or another. So that was kind of my reading of it as well. But you were the one from the House Dems who released it. What was the strategy?
I think that's exactly right. When we receive something, we're going to put it out. That picture which I think is the most disturbing one, the dentist chair with the masks, we don't think that photo has ever been seen before, that image of that bizarre room. And so when we receive something like that is clearly a place and a space where so many children and women were abused, we need to put that out to the public, even if it's hard to see. And it certainly is disturbing and creepy to see these images. We obviously put out some images today. We're putting out more images and videos as we go through those, and those will be coming out in the days ahead.
There was just one problem with that explanation. The Late Show was #1 in ratings. It had been beating Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon for 9 consecutive years. In the second quarter of 2025 alone, the show averaged 2.42 million viewers. So they canceled the highest-rated late-night show on television for financial reasons? Senators Elizabeth Warren and Adam Schiff weren't buying it. They immediately questioned whether this was political retaliation.
Once again, Trump brought up the cognitive test. He claims he aced. He bragged about getting all A's on his physical, and he pushed back bigly against a report in the New York Times that said he's been cutting back his schedule because he's showing signs of fatigue, which is ridiculous. I mean, does this look like a man who is showing signs of fatigue?
We're going to build ships, $150 billion worth of ships in America. That changes the way things work.
We also rescinded the supplemental statement that discouraged the fiduciaries from considering the alternative assets for 401ks.
Making sure our students can read by reintroducing the science of reading in schools.
This war started, it never would have happened if you'd been president. But this war is going on, and the president is trying to end it, not because, listen, we got a million things to focus on in the world as a country, but he's the only leader in the world that can help end it. And that's why even as we speak to you now,
on deregulation, HHS proudly is now leading the pack.
I mean, if you could sleep through that voice, you are tired. You are fatigued. Tell us again how sleepy Joe is, will you? Of course he's tired. He was up all night posting.
Bernie Sanders called it out directly. CBS's billionaire owners pay Trump $16 million to settle a bogus lawsuit while trying to sell the network to Skydance. Stephen Colbert slams the deal. Days later, he's fired. Do I think this is a coincidence? No. The timeline was impossible to ignore. Colbert called it a bribe on Monday. By Thursday, his show was canceled.
And they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries, too. I can say it about other countries, too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point.
But it's not normal. No other candidate for the presidency has ever had to pause his campaign to defend himself in multiple courts. And I would like to point out that in all 7 of his cases, no one doubts that he did these things. We're just sitting around patiently waiting to find out if the wheels of justice will grind fast enough for there to be any consequences. And the media is covering it like it's any other political story, like it's all horse.
Of Senate Armed Services Committee Chair Roger Wicker, and the Democratic ranking member of the committee as well, Jack Reed, and they say, the committee is aware of recent news reports and the Department of Defense's initial response regarding alleged follow-on strikes on suspected narcotics vessels in the Southcom area of responsibility. The committee has directed inquiries to the Department of Defense, and we will be conducting vigorous oversight to determine the facts related to these circumstances.
Trump was nominated for The Apprentice in 2004 and 2005. Lost both times. Has complained for years that the Emmys were rigged against him. Has claimed in debates and interviews that he should have won. And now, Stephen Colbert, the man Trump claimed has even less talent than his ratings, has an Emmy, and Trump doesn't, standing in solidarity. But Colbert didn't stop there. When ABC suspended Jimmy Kimmel in September over comments about Charlie Kirk's assassination, Colbert opened his show with a declaration that made headlines around the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome all to The Late Show. Wonderful to have you all here. I am your host, Stephen Colbert. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I feel good coming out here today. When it comes to Congress, it's increasingly rare that things happen. And today, something did. This afternoon, the House voted to release the Epstein files.
In this instance, the judge, in this 94-page opinion, states that the plaintiffs in this case have established a substantial likelihood that the IRS basically adopted and implemented this new data policy that allows for the disclosure of this confidential address information for tens of thousands of taxpayers to ICE. And that they knew that ICE is going to use the addresses for immigration-related criminal investigations and proceedings, even though ICE only identified one single employee at ICE who was processing these millions of criminal investigations or proceedings.
Welcome one and all to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert, but tonight we are all Jimmy Kimmel. He called ABC's move blatant censorship and delivered a warning. With an autocrat, you cannot give an inch. And if ABC thinks that this is going to satisfy the regime, they are woefully naive. He dedicated his entire show to defending free speech. He brought back the word segment from the Colbert Report. He interviewed CNN's Jake Tapper and The New Yorker's David Remnick about the erosion of press freedom.
I understand that. And I did a whole video on this last night. The former top military lawyers, some of the leaders in JAG, the Judge Advocate General, the military lawyers, they came out with a statement saying that these follow-on strikes, the double tap strikes, the give no quarters order by Hegseth and anyone in the chain of command was indeed a war crime, and that the individuals involved at all stages should be prosecuted for war crimes. Now, while all of this is taking place, Donald Trump continues to threaten war on Venezuela. And the same way that you had Putin say denazification when it came to Ukraine.
And he did it knowing that he'd already paid the price for speaking out, knowing that his show was ending in May, knowing that Trump had already won the battle. But Colbert refused to let Trump win the war. The bottom line. Here's what you need to understand about this story. Stephen Colbert didn't just expose Trump on live TV, he exposed the entire system. He showed how media companies will sacrifice their most popular shows to appease an authoritarian president.
We are showerheads today, or whatever the hell they were talking about, but actually focus their priorities on covering up a child sex trafficking ring.
It's been hard to see Republicans essentially being dragged to support disclosure and supporting the survivors. I mean, you saw the effort in Congress. We only had not even a handful of Republicans initially sign that discharge petition, and it was only until that actual vote came forward that you had all other Republicans break with the president and then begin this wave of support to get those files released. On the Oversight Committee, there has been some areas where Republicans have joined us, but mostly it's been us pushing, it's been us demanding, it's been us forcing votes to get information.
He showed how corporate executives will claim financial decisions when everyone can see it's about politics. And most importantly, he showed that even when they take everything from you, they can't take your voice. They can cancel your show, but they can't make you shut up. They can't make you bend the knee. They can't make you stop telling the truth. Trump erupted because Colbert exposed the one thing Trump can't stand: his own weakness.
Mr. Trump, your presidency, I love your presidency. I call it disgrace the nation. You're not the POTUS, you're the bloatus. You're the glutton with the button. You're a regular Gorge Washington. You're the presidents, but you're turning into a real prick-tator. You attract more skinheads than free Rogaine. You have more people marching against you than cancer. You talk like a sign language gorilla who got hit in the head. In fact, the only thing your mouth is good for is being Vladimir Putin's pollster.
His desperate need for approval, his inability to handle mockery, his thin skin hiding behind billions of dollars in presidential power. And when Trump fired back calling Colbert talentless, Colbert got an Emmy. When Trump claimed victory, Colbert got a standing ovation from an entire industry. When Trump demanded silence, Colbert said, "Go fuck yourself" on national television. That's not losing. That's exposing a tyrant for exactly what he is.